On CBS News, this is 30 Minutes with Christopher Glenn and Betty Ann Bowser.
As long as anyone can remember, people have been expressing themselves by writing or drawing on public walls. There's a word for this. It's called graffiti. However, there are times when graffiti can get out of hand. Right now, New York's subway system is in the grips of a graffiti epidemic. And in the middle of all this sprawl, a few of the young graffiti writers have perfected what some experts call some pretty good art. New York City these days is in the grips of a graffiti epidemic. The problem is acute on the city subway system, where sometimes you can't read the maps or see out of the windows because they're covered with graffiti. Cleanup costs each year are in the millions. Still, there are those who think graffiti is art, is pop is in. Even the rock group Blondie has glorified graffiti in music.
I know what I'm doing is illegal, and I know that I could face imprisonment for it. But it doesn't really, it doesn't bother me because I know what I'm doing in my heart is good.
Meet Futura 2000. He's what's known in the graffiti underground as a writer, and among his peers, he's a star.
I don't want to always be riding on subways. I would personally like to flourish as a graphic artist.
Graffiti is against the law. That's why Futura and the other graffiti writers we'll talk to won't reveal their identity. But they will give us an insider's look at their underground world. When a kid starts scribbling his name on the subways, he's called a toy. And the alias he chooses as his signature is called his tag.
Everything that you see is a tag. When someone writes their name on something, that's a tag. This is a Heavenly Bomb line. The #1 line has always been known for a lot of graffiti.
Toys can be as young as 9 or 10, but most graffiti writers are teenagers. Toys often idolize the older writers like Futura. Some collect the tags of their heroes in autograph-like books. Unlike the more experienced writers, toys scribble anywhere, on windows, maps, signs. The transit authority, the public, even the experienced writers themselves don't like what the toys do.
What do you think about toys that write on maps and windows? I can't condone writing on the inside. Because it's offensive, because people don't want to look at it. I think that, there's enough problems with the subway system in general that, they don't need to constantly be, eyeballing all of this graffiti.
And yet it's okay for you to paint the outside of subway trains and make pretty pictures.
Right, okay, both are equally illegal, both are equally as destructive.
How do you justify the difference between the two?
I personally can't justify it. I believe in what I'm doing, and that, by doing a large design on the outside of the train, it's definitely adding to the beauty of the whole subway system.
As graffiti writers mature in age, style, and technique, they graduate to the outside of the subway cars and to more elaborate drawings known as pieces. A writer will spend 3 to 6 hours on a piece, working mainly at night when the cars are parked in the yards or in the tunnels. There's an unwritten rule that the graffiti writer's tools, namely spray paint and felt-tip markers, must be stolen. Writers usually work with 1 or 2 friends, and from these informal associations, clubs grow, like the Fabulous Five, the CIA, and Rolling Thunder. The results can be mind-boggling. Some people even call it art. That's what you'll hear from Futura and some of his fellow writers, members of the Soul Artists, a group of graffiti writers who are trying to go legit. Is graffiti art or is it vandalism?
It's creative vandalism. It depends on who's doing it and where it's being done. There's no question that a kid that takes a can of paint and scrawls his name over the base of a statue is committing an act of vandalism. But we think that the art we do on trains has a tremendous amount of artistic validity.
There's probably not another major city in the United States that has so much graffiti as New York. Why do you think it happens here?
There's a lot of expression that's really bottled up in the inner city. In the poor neighborhoods, the projects and tenements, there really isn't a lot of opportunity for self-expression. Frustrated musicians never have enough money to buy musical equipment. Frustrated artists never have enough money for studio space or canvases. All of us have in common a desire to paint and a desire to communicate. And I think that's what the essence of graffiti is. Right now, we've moved in the direction of commercial art. Graphics, sign painting, mural painting.
Do you think the kids enjoy the danger of doing it?
Oh, for sure. Everybody that grows up in this society has a rebellious streak in them. A little daredevil in them. We think the city is not aware of the fact that all graffiti is not vandalism and is deliberately ignoring our efforts to improve things. But at the point where society starts recognizing this tremendous drive and motivation among young kids to paint and to beautify their environment, to personalize their environment, that's the point at which things are going to start to move in a progressive way.
Reese Stone is spokesman for the New York City Transit Authority.
This year alone, we will be spending in the neighborhood of $6 million for graffiti removal and vandalism.
Do you have any idea how much it costs to clean up just one train?
One train to clean, that's the interior and exterior, is approximately $2,500. And if you were to multiply $2,500 times the number of trains we have in our fleet, which is over 6,000, it comes to a large sum of money, and we do not have that kind of money to spend on graffiti removal. There are other problems far more serious that we should be spending money on.
Do you think passengers have stopped riding the trains to some extent because of graffiti?
Absolutely. There are many times when we cannot even bring a train out of the train yard for service in the morning because paint is applied over all of the windows, the motorman's cab, and that's the compartment where the motorman, the train is driven, and they can't see out of the windows. So that's a serious problem.
Is graffiti art or vandalism?
Vandalism.
These days, it's war between the graffiti writers and the transit authority. A special graffiti squad has been set up, complete with undercover cops. The two legends on the squad are Kevin Hickey and Conrad Wisniewski. To graffiti writers, Ski and Hickey are the Starsky and Hutch of the subways.
Is this where they get in?
Yeah, here's one of the holes in the fence right here. Quick as you'll patch this up, it will cut it right open. It's next to impossible to have enough placement to cover the whole area.
Are those two new trains over there? How long will they stay clean?
They can last in place from a day to a week, possibly. And that's before the repeat again. When the kids see a train, it's just absolutely clean. They will follow that train. So these young kids know the train schedule is just as good as the transit authority. Where they lay up at nighttime and where it's going to be, what yard it's from, how long the run is before they take out our service. You say, why don't you do it on a canvas or something? Who will see my name on a canvas? My friends, 5, 10, 15 people. This way I put my name on the side of the train and 5 million people a day see my name.
Is that why they do it?
Most of it's for the identity.
For Hickey and Ski to make an arrest, they have to catch a kid actually in the act of writing graffiti. And that's tough. For every one they catch, about 100 get away. Also, the Transit Authority has started a program to make convicted graffiti writers and their parents pay for cleaning up the cars. But graffiti isn't just a police problem. The subways are dirty, the service is slow, the crime rate is high. Graffiti is an added insult to an already hassled passenger.
I despise graffiti.
I think it's a lot of junk.
It just depresses me to look at it. It's very, very, very bad. Filth. Absolute filth. Destruction. I personally dislike it intensely.
It's good. It's very good. It's fantastic.
Ed Bengett is a graphic artist, art director, and instructor at the School of Visual Arts in New York City. Do you think it's vandalism?
Yep, I certainly do. I think it's vandalism because it's not their property. So I'm not happy with the way they're doing it as far as going into the yards and hiding and working at night and so forth. But I am happy that they did it. I love it.
I think it's ghetto art, and in some ways it is art terrorism.
Stephen Eins is an artist and owner of Fashion Moda, an art gallery in New York. He sponsored a showing of graffiti artists' work done on canvas. It's not exactly the Metropolitan Museum of Art, but it is legit.
Art, of course, is a label. You can call it whatever you want. I happen to love it.
And to you it's art?
Yes, sure.
Among the thousands of graffiti artists who do their numbers on New York subways, Futura 2000 is one of the few with talent, perhaps even worthy of a legitimate art career. But his acceptance by the art world still does not put the public's blessing on what is really vandalism.
In the house where he got scant attention, twisted yet methodical mind, not to mention surface like atmosphere, storybook upbringing, neighborhood full of married couples who love swinging. Preacher lived a life and spent in the spotlight. A teacher was his wife who was stabbed and shot twice. They attended a church where they both were active, and the little bit of rope he gave her was retractive. He ruled with the iron hand. If the meal wasn't hot enough, then he'll swing the frying pan. Heavy as the hammer of Thor, you know we suffered from the consequences of broken vows and more. A convicted felon for armed robbery at the time where he had sank into deep poverty. Forsaken by his mother and father, priced cheap in the town where he attended sheep. On a path of destruction.
Today's prisons are filled with yesterday's juvenile delinquents. Convicts who entered crime even before they entered puberty.
On a path of destruction.
I don't remember how old I was when I first got in trouble. Me? Around 9? Around 6, 7?
Okay.
He ended up on the block. The kid, scooters and ice creams, were in and out of foster homes until he was 19. Stealing for food he didn't do for enjoyment. At the time a layoff shut down and unemployment, he moved into a new world to seek his fortune and suited himself to the times with extortions. A hustle that was ruled by men and murder. He earned enough for his daily bread and wanted to move further. He knew no good come from such a sin. Had issues as a kid, so he held it all but then. And he pursued the game so hotly on a path of destruction, even though the road was rocky. Very caught up in his own drive for dominance, and to know that he would pay in the end was common sense. Some say he had long deserved death, and many felt relieved when they were told he left.
Various youngsters in this group have committed assault and battery, arson, auto theft, breaking and entering, burglary.
Sampling really began principally as part of sort of predecessor to hip-hop music. It was really a central part.
Now I'm wondering if it's all in a dream. Now I'm wondering if it's all in a dream. Now I'm wondering if it's all in a dream. Looks like they're all out of view. Oh, but now I'm wondering if it's all in a dream.
It was all a dream.
Now I'm wondering if it's all in a dream.
It was all a dream.
Now I'm wondering if it's all in a dream.
It was all a dream.
We were standing here acting out the scene. Oh. Well, I knew we'd need a brand new day. New day. From what I see, we need a new day. New day. Well, I knew we'd need a brand new day. New day. From what I see, we need a new day. New day.
Now, was that civilized? No, clearly not. Fun, but in no sense civilized.
You love me so. You love me so. Tell me, dear, what's to know? You love me so. You love me so. Tell me, dear, what's to know? You love me so. 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 Tell me, dear, what's to know? You love me so. You love me so. Tell me, dear, what's to know?
What do you call this?
should take,
if you should take
a train, you get to where you're going in a hurry. Hurry, 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 now it's coming. Can't you hear the rails are humming? If you should miss the train, you'll miss the quickest way to get to Harlem.
Till I finally died, which started the whole